Well, I'd like to say congratulations to Handelsbanken for winning both the Investment Bank of the Year and also Banking CEO of the Year. Many congratulations indeed.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And on behalf of all colleagues in the bank, I will thank International Bank that you have recognized what we are doing and also inspired us to continue our work with customer satisfaction, customer service, and be a top-ranked investment bank. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure. And here they are, your awards.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask you first, I think, about the, if you like, the outlook. Both Sweden and Europe, the economic situation, forecasters are saying, is uneven. What do you think are the key factors for growth for Handelsbanken going forward?
When you look particularly at Handelsbanken, I think it's our capability to find the right team around the branch managers, and the key role is played by the branch manager who's responsible for the bank's activities in a defined geographical area.
So, and that in a way is going to be the real factor for growth, is linking that geographic with the right people?
Yeah, I think so. And then of course it must be supported by digital platforms and all the IT you need to deliver a good offer to our clients, but the key role is played by the branch manager, yes.
Okay. And rolling back to when you started at the bank, so that was 1996, you became CEO in 2006. What do you think were the key challenges that faced you when you took on that leadership role at the bank?
It was no particular challenge for me. When you get a new job, which is happening all the day for a lot of employees in Handelsbanken, you can take some skills with you, some experience with you, but you also have to learn new things and work together with your colleagues. So I cannot put any particular challenge and say this was my challenge. It was a new job and I had to learn a lot of new things.
And I've also found out that you still spend some time on the front desk. Is that true?
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I cannot do it in all countries every year, but I do spend some days every year behind the desk, yes.
And what does that give you?
Oh, a lot, I will say. Meeting clients and meeting customers is absolutely necessary. And in my job, generally, I meet clients with a bit of larger business with the bank, but it's very important also to meet all clients.
Now, the bank has got a fantastic reputation for customer service, and you, I think, are credited with kind of having a laser-like focus on customer service and making sure that you deliver for customers. But that's a challenge in its own right, because if you're meeting those levels of expectation and service, how do you improve on that? How do you get better? How do you kind of keep moving forward? So what new services will you be offering your clients and customers over the next few years?
There are many areas where we have to improve better and better, and we all know that clients typically want to use more new devices when they are launched from Samsung, for example. So you must always be capable to be in the front line of the new digital platforms. But what customer wants is a combination of local presence, building a relationship, and digital platforms. So being both local and being digital, that's the key.
Okay. Now turning to the UK, there's been significant growth and development of the bank here in the UK. 180 plus branches, I think it is at the moment. What were the specific challenges of expanding into the UK when compared to, say, Sweden?
I think we're coming back to what we talked about initially. It's a question about finding the right branch manager. And he or she can build a team around that and build up a local reputation and relationship and be a part of the local community.
In terms of thinking about the factors for growth here in the UK, what do you think is really going to drive your growth, apart from getting the right people and getting the right places?
I think the driver, a lot of the driving is that clients talk about us. We don't have a marketing department, we don't do any advertisement, so it's only mouth-to-mouth marketing. And it's essential that our clients think and believe that we are doing a good job. If we are doing that, they will tell others that, and that will drive the growth.
And without spending any money at all on marketing, do you genuinely believe that the business is going to grow?
Definitely, definitely. And I think you can see what we have done for the last 6-7 years in UK, and we haven't spent one single sterling in marketing.
So a lot of that then depends on the quality of the people that you get. So how do you motivate and inspire your workforce in order to sustain that kind of growth?
My experience is that people generally are motivated. People have a natural motivation, and it's much more common that people at the headquarters destroy that natural motivation by sending out reports and guidelines or whatever it is. So I have never seen is that a problem to motivate people. People are motivated, and I think it's a part of the human being.
You yourself have been described as being kind of bold as a leader. What qualities do you look for in the people that you hire? What qualities and values do you seek out?
There are so many aspects, you can't really pick up one single thing, but what I think is good to have is the capability to be a decision maker, but also building teams. If you can do that and have a social talent where you really like to be a part of the society and community around you, that's some parts of it, but there are so many other things.
Now, you've mentioned the kind of importance of the digital platform. What have been the major challenges the bank's faced from a kind of technological point of view over the last few years?
I think what we can see is that the number and the differentiation of devices. I mean, if you go back 10 years, it was a huge screen, mostly used in an office or at a home. Today you have smartphone, you have apps. There will be an iWatch here in March. Google will launch their Google Glasses. There will be new types of devices. And the only thing we know is that our clients will buy those devices and then connect them to the bank. And this is a challenge for the IT department.
In order to keep up with the very latest device, you're going to have to invest in making sure you've got the people who understand how to make those work for you.
Yeah, so we need good people at the IT department, and we can combine that with local presence. That gives a service concept which is very appreciated.
But again, in terms of your profile, you've managed to maintain what some people might call a kind of traditional element of service and value, particularly face-to-face. How do you see the balance between face-to-face and, say, digital delivery? How does that balance have to be worked through?
You have to be good in both arenas, because clients, they want to have both the possibility to walk into a branch, talk to a person they know, a person they have told their story before, and also a person who can take decisions. If they can do that, they are very happy with that meeting. But when they are walking away from the branch, they want to pick up their smartphone, log on through an app, and check the balance on an account, for example. So it's no conflict between those two ways to serve a client. You need both, and clients want to have both.
And thinking again about the technology, what area do you think, in terms of innovation, you'd like to pursue over the next few years? Where do you think your focus is going to be?
If you look at the technical area, there will be the differentiation of devices. There will be so many types of devices. There will be small tablets, huge tablets, pads, watches, glasses, television at home. You will easily switch over with your remote control and check something. The number of different types of devices, I think, is the largest challenge.
And does that apply across your customer base? So whether that's personal through to corporate, whether they're large or small, do you think all of your customers will be embracing that kind of technology?
Yeah, I think so. And this is a huge shift. If you go 15 years back, you could say, or 20 years back, you could say that young clients used PCs and the web. Older clients, they visit the branch. Today, you can't see that anymore. You have all types of clients are using both digital platforms and appreciate branches. And I saw in our last customer survey in Sweden, we saw that young clients, customers who mostly use the smartphone, they appreciate the local branch as much as clients who's older than 55 years. So those young clients also appreciate it a lot. And we asked why. What was the reason behind that? Well, the screen is so small on a smartphone that you have to walk into the branch to get your questions answered.
But thinking about that mix between technology and kind of face-to-face, what particular products and services do you believe make you stand out from the competition in the marketplace?
When we talk to our clients, and of course our product range only reflects the demand from the clients, they want traditional products. What they believe is a traditional product in a bank. That's the reason why they walk into the bank or make a phone call to the bank. So I can't see any huge changes in the product range for Handelsbanken.
But how will you continue to set yourself apart from the crowd? Is it by playing on that traditional element, or is it by playing on your ability to really listen carefully to your clients? What do you think is the most important thing that makes you stand out?
Being close to the market is, of course, the most important thing in our business, and I think in most businesses. You need happy and satisfied clients. That's what it's all about. We are doing that by daily service, local presence, and frontline digital platforms. That combination is what we try to making us unique, and also where we try to differentiate ourselves. And building an organization where colleagues in the bank can take decisions when they meet clients, and not necessarily need to make a phone call to the headquarters or send in some data to a computer where an algorithm is taking the decision. We still believe that the human being is a really, really good decision maker and can compete with all computers.
And moving away from the way your operation behaves to the kind of regulatory regime in which it has to operate, how do you expect that to develop locally and globally over the next few years in terms of the global banking sector?
I think it's very natural that politicians and regulators came with a new regulation after the financial crisis. And there are no reason for banks to complain on that, because if every bank have stand up for their own business and didn't ask taxpayers for support, it hadn't been any new regulations. So there are reason to be a little bit humble when you talk about those things. We haven't asked any taxpayers for support, and we don't borrow money in any central bank. So we are on the safety side. But what I think is important for managers in the bank is not necessary to discuss and debate every single detail in the regulation. From our perspective, regulation is only a way for politicians and for the government to trying to communicate what kind of banks do they want in their country. And there are different regulations in different countries. But for managers in a bank, it's important to understand what's the idea behind the regulation. And we want to be a good citizen in the country where we are running our business. So we try to understand what kind of bank do they want, and that's what we try to deliver. Then, of course, as a technical specialists in the banking, you can, of course, have opinion about some details. But that's not unique for the financial sector. If you are a car manufacturer, or if you are working in a healthcare company, whatever it is, there are regulations everywhere.
Do you think it's a peculiarly Swedish way of working, if you think of some of the other big brands that have come out of Sweden, that has helped you develop into overseas markets by really relying upon reputation and word of mouth? Is that something that is Swedish in its essence, or is it just something that happens to be something that works well for Handelsbanken?
I don't know if it's Swedish or not, but for us it was a huge step when we said to ourselves that we need to establish branches outside Scandinavia. It was a huge step, and at that time most banks were orientated for the former Eastern Europe and Ukraine and the Baltics. and of some reasons we said we didn't believe in that direction, so we said maybe UK is a better place for us. And it was a huge step, as I said. When we came to UK, we had to ask ourselves how to grow, how to do it. We know very well how to run the banking business in itself, a sustainable business without support from taxpayers, without asking shareholders for capital injection. So we were very comfortable about the business model. But to grow in that scale was a new thing for us. So we started a lot of companies who's been very successful in growing. And we try to find something which is quite similar to what we can see some Swedish companies doing, H&M, the clothes company, IKEA, the furniture company. But we are also very impressed about how Starbucks have done their business. And we try to find a combination and learn. And we are still in a learning process how to grow efficient and sustainable, but there are some role models around us, and some are Swedish. But if it's typical Sweden, no, I don't know. I don't think so.
So what factors will be vital to growth in the UK going forward?
The only factor that can drive growth for us is demand from clients. And that's because we don't do any advertisement. We don't even have a marketing department. And we haven't spent one single sterling on marketing in UK. But we don't even have bonus system. Everybody has a flat salary. I have flat salary, so there are no incentive inside the organization to sell. And we don't do budget. So our branch managers and their team, they don't have any sales targets or budgets. So the only thing that could drive growth is demand from the market. And that means that word of mouth is the only way the bank will be promoted in the local society. And word of mouth is only a consequence of how well we have served our client in the branch, in the local community, and on digital platforms. So word of mouth and demand is keyword when you are talking demand from the market. And we have skipped everything else. We have skipped bonuses, variable salaries, marketing, and that kind of traditional drivers behind sales. So it's only a natural demand for the service we have.
So in a way, you have, you're not kind of acquiring risk, you're devolving responsibility.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it.
Well, it has been an education today, so thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you for letting me talk about my favorite subject, the bank. Thank you.